the excitement of welcoming a first grandchild, the butterflies in your stomach on the first day of school, the first catch of the season. Life is filled with big events and minor accomplishments, the joy of which may never be experienced by those whose existence depends upon receiving an organ transplant. Today, close to 100,000 adults and children in the United States face an uncertain future as they wait for organs to become available. Approximately 3,700 transplant candidates are added to the national waiting list monthly, but due to the overwhelming shortage of organs, 18 people die each day waiting for an organ to become available. Organ donors who make arrangements to donate their organs upon death save lives. So do individuals who opt to become living donors. Tens of thousands of patients have already received successful transplants from living donors. A living organ donation occurs when a live person donates a healthy organ or part of a healthy organ to a recipient. Living organ donors most frequently donate a kidney. For the donor, there is little risk because the remaining kidney compensates and does the work of both organs. Living liver donors donate a part of their healthy liver. After the transplant, both the recipient's and donor's liver grow back to full size in a short period of time. Donors can also donate lung lobes and portions of the small intestine. Live donations are important because living donation means the recipient placed on the national waiting list will get a transplant much sooner. Living donations are often more successful because there is a better tissue match between the donor and the recipient. And last but not least, donors often receive great personal satisfaction knowing that they have contributed to the improved health of the recipient. The American Society of Transplantation, in order to remove a significant disincentive to live donation, namely lost wages, created the Employee Leave and Organ Donation Program. The program allows living donors adequate time to recover following an organ donation without incurring financial hardship. AST has developed leave policies that allow living donors the time to recover without losing wages. The policies address eligibility, payment for organ donor leave, amount of leave, and overtime. The policy can be viewed by visiting www.a-s-t.org. Employers have created leave policies using AST's policy as guidance. Approximately 40 institutions, organizations, companies, and corporations throughout the country have adopted the Employee Leave and Organ Donation Program. Almost 40 employers, creating a potential pool of donors that exceeds more than 100,000 individuals. In addition, the federal government and several states have passed legislation to encourage federal and state employees to consider living donation and to provide paid leave for those who choose to donate. Adoption of the Employee Leave and Organ Donation Program can be wonderfully rewarding for both the institutions that have implemented the policy and employees who selflessly give this precious gift of life.
Living donation can make a difference between life and death. Today, I have the utmost pleasure of introducing three wonderful individuals who have contributed significantly to the lives of their loved ones by donating their organs.
Three individuals, three different stories, three extraordinary outcomes.
Well, once my mother got sick, she got sick very rapidly and was put on the organ transplant list. And lucky here in Pittsburgh at the Starzl Transplant Center, they had just started their live living donor transplant program. And due to the length of the waiting lists on the national level, we thought that the organ live liver program might be a good option for our family. Once my mother found out that I was a good compatible match with her, she was very happy, but on the other hand, she had some apprehension as well, being one of her children going through such a big process. But I reassured her that there was no way I was not going to do this and that we were going to be okay. And luckily, my employer was very supportive and gave me the sick time that I needed with pay and with my benefits to help my family and to get through this process.
Well, my condition has been monitored for quite some time because polycystic kidney disease runs in my family. So I was meeting with my nephrologist on a regular basis, and as my kidney function decreased, he was letting me know what the process would be involved in terms of dialysis and then ultimately getting put on the kidney transplant list. So while I was concerned the whole time that eventually I would have to go on dialysis, it was aware to me that if I could find an appropriate donor within my family, that an organ transplant would be possible.
The reaction from my family and friends when I told them, and my employer when I told them that I was going to donate an organ, my kidney, was excitement and anticipation. They wanted to know what was involved with the process. My employer wanted to know how long I might anticipate being away from work. But even with that, they were all very, very supportive and told me to take the time that I needed to recover. We were out of the hospital in 2 days, and I was back at work in 2 weeks. So the time away from work was not long at all, but people were very, very encouraging and very excited for both of us.
My brother, when he was a teenager, I believe he was 14, he developed diabetes, juvenile diabetes, and about 10 years ago, his kidneys themselves, his own kidneys, failed. And my sister donated her kidney, and then they lost it, and then about 5 years later, he received a cadaver kidney, and then it failed. And then when it failed, then I donated a kidney to him. I have felt all along that it was a very important thing to do. When it came to the day of the surgery went so well. I am so appreciative of Dr. Tan, my surgeon, and all of the surgeons who worked with my brother. We came out of the surgery. I had absolutely no pain.
The benefits derived from live organ donation are invaluable, but what about the impact on employers who implement such a program? Employees who become donors are covered under the transplant recipient's insurance. Health insurance coverage varies for living donation, and most insurance companies pay 100% of the donor's expenses. And while adoption of the employee leave and organ donation program can make great things possible, it is unlikely that many of your employees will use this benefit in a given year. To put things in perspective, only 6,722 living organ donations were performed nationwide in the year 2006. And how is sick leave handled? Although most employers offer sick leave to their employees, it should not be necessary for employees to tap into their sick leave to donate an organ to a loved one. The amount of time required for organ donors to recover is not excessive. 1 week of recovery is usually sufficient for a bone marrow donor. A kidney donor is often able to return to work within 4 weeks. Liver or lung donors may require up to 90 days for full recuperation. The Employee Leave and Organ Donation Program saves lives. The American Society of Transplantation encourages your company to consider providing its workforce with the ability to give the gift of life by implementing an employee leave and organ donation program, a policy that will allow your employees to give hope to family members, friends, and loved ones. Go to www.a-s-t.org for more information.